Hi, my name is Labora Crawford. I am a student at Barry University, soon to be 35 years old. Yay. Single mom of a 7-year-old little boy. I will be telling you a little bit about my life, the things that I've gone through, the things that I've experienced. Growing up, I attended a couple schools where my father was the principal. He was an elementary school principal. He's retired now. But then I didn't so much like the idea because I couldn't get away with anything. When I was about 5-6 years old, I started dancing with a company, the Inner City Dance Company in Miami. We were actually chosen in 1992 to perform at the World's Exposition in Spain. We were sponsored by the United States government. We got to stay on an Air Force base. That was pretty cool. And we represented America. On the way to college in Tallahassee, FSU. Being 18, 19 years old, school wasn't my priority at that time. It was all about partying, having fun with my friends, going out to clubs, and my grades slipped a lot and I kind of dropped out. I worked as an LPN for a couple years. At that point I was in my early 20s. I moved from Miami in 2005 to Atlanta, and I pursued nursing there. I worked with pediatric home nursing, home health care, and I also worked at nursing homes with geriatric patients, and I loved it. I loved working with the babies and I loved working with the old folks. But nursing wasn't my life's dream. I didn't feel fulfilled. I knew if I looked down the line 10, 15, 20 years, it wasn't what I wanted to do. While in Georgia, I met a man, fell in love. His name was Brian. A year later, I got pregnant with my son, and all hell broke loose. Meeting Brian was, at that time, wonderful for me. I was very homesick, I needed companionship, and he fulfilled all of that. Unfortunately, he was the devil in disguise. Found out I was pregnant. For me, that was the best day of my life. For him, not so much. He was not on the same page as I was as far as me keeping the baby. He didn't want me to keep it. And because I chose to, that's really when the abuse started. Started with simple pushes, you know, here, a push there. It progressed to slapping. That progressed to punches, which progressed to being jacked up on the wall. And I remember being so embarrassed to tell people because that wasn't me. You know, that wasn't the woman that I grew up to be. That wasn't what I grew up around. I had to stay with him because I had no one else in Georgia. And it was awful. It was very awful, very abusive. And I lost a lot of weight. My hair was falling out. It was a very, very bad time for me, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. April 21st, 2008 came, and my son, LeBrian, was born. He was 9 pounds, 22 inches long, big baby. And that was the most wonderful day of my life. I would never forget that. Being a mommy seemed like my calling. That was the best thing, my most greatest achievement, my proudest moment. I loved everything about being a mommy. I loved definitely January 21st, 2009 is the day that I will never forget. My son and I, we were taking a nap. He was 7 months at the time. He was laying on my chest. We were sleeping. And I remember awakening to the sound of guns drawn over me. And I'm talking ATF, DEA, local PD. Couldn't believe what was happening. I was confused. I didn't know what was going on, to be honest with you. To make a long story short, Brian had got into a lot of trouble and things he was doing that I had no clue of. And because he was not there when they were looking for him to arrest him, they arrested me, thinking that maybe he'll turn himself in on my behalf. But he didn't do that. took my baby and went on the run. He was on the run for 2 months. My child was 8, 9 months old. And that was the most devastating time of my life, not knowing what was going on with me, and especially not knowing what was going on with my baby. They eventually found him 2 months later. Brian was hiding in a closet. He had gave my baby to some woman, and just what I was trying to prevent is exactly what was happening. Now my child was in children's services. I lost custody of my baby, and I ended up sitting down for 18 months because of stuff that Brian was doing. I was in a county jail in Atlanta, no friends, no family, no one up there to help me. My son was in a foster care, and I was miserable, depressed. I was sick because I figured if anybody could help me, it would be God. And if anybody was truly listening, it would be him. And I remember praying so much and asking him to show me, teach me how to forgive this man that harmed me so much, that hurt me so bad. Not just me, but my child, that put both of us in so much danger. Oh, Lord, you know, God, if you get me out of this, I will do everything in my power, everything that you want me to do to correct the wrongs that happened since being with Brian. April 10th, 2010, I went to court out of the blue, and they let me go. It was very surreal. I was very happy. I was ecstatic. I refused to let my situation that happened to me in Georgia, being arrested, being incarcerated, you know, having to deal with everything that I've gone through, I refused to let that get me down. And I kept going. I had nowhere else to go but up, you know. And I'm about to graduate. My son is 6 now. He'll be 7 soon. He's great. He's a well-adjusted, healthy, happy little boy. To know that no matter what you go through in life, it doesn't have to be the end. It may be the most devastating thing you've ever experienced, but trust me, what don't kill you will make you strong.